So, good evening, guys. This is issue 71 of the Routemaster. My hair's gone all messy, look. This is issue 71. My subscription's not come through, so I'm seeing this for the very, very first time. So, we've got two people on the go. Where am I live? I might have just gone live. I might be having a few issues. I'm going to carry on as normal. So, let me first of all introduce my co-host, Horlicks.
Good evening. Hello. How is everyone?
So, have you had a good week then, Horlicks?
Yeah, not too bad. Busy, uploading, filming, sorting out the area here, and yeah, quite busy.
Yeah, it looks very nice. I can see that little shelf.
Yeah, I needed something to put my tools and stuff on, and screwdrivers and whatnot, and because there's too much going on my desk, so this came up at work. This is another one of them. Sorry,
go on. I was going to say that's the trouble with craft-related hobbies is that you can never have enough space.
No, that's it. But this is another one of them classic things from work. It came back, and I thought that'd be perfect, and here it is.
So we have an extra guest today, and I'm really, really proud to announce we have 40F20.
Hey everybody, how you doing?
So what you've been up to then? How are you? And how's the? Oh, you don't do the build, do you? You do the build.
Yes, I do the build. I wouldn't be here otherwise. Well, I guess I would. I've been following you since day one. But I finally got some parts earlier in the month, including the two issues for the chassis that I needed, 22 and 34. So I finally got my cabin mounted down on the frame.
Oh, brilliant.
The only caveat.
Your mic might be a little bit close to your mouth. We can kind of hear you breathing.
Okay, is that better?
That's a lot better, yes. I just also want to just check my mic. Someone's saying that Andy M is saying, is it me or has Penny got her head in a bucket? So it might be my mic, or they might be hearing you breathing while we were talking.
I was going to say, I think yours seems quite low volume this week.
Right. Okay. Let me just play about with the settings then. So how's that? Is that any better?
Seems to be the same.
Okay. So maybe I've got problems with my mic. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Give it a tap. No, it's not coming through the blue mic. It's coming through something else.
Okay, right. Okay, let me play with my settings then. Yeah, it's coming through my webcam. Okay, so is that any better?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, thanks for spotting that. Whoever brought it up, Andy M, I think it was.
No, now you're dim again.
Right.
You're very quiet again.
Okay, let me turn the sound up then. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Any better?
That's better.
A little better, yeah.
Right, okay.
Give the mic a tap.
There's obviously a problem. I've got to.
Yeah. Now it's working.
Okay. Right. So I've actually turned the volumes on these. I've turned them all quite low, and I've now turned my mic up to about half. Right, what I'm going to do, we're kind of deliberately stalling because Horlicks has had a bit of a problem with getting the PDF sorted out, so to give him a bit of time, we're just going to go through the comments. And yeah, it's just been spotted that we've all got the same t-shirt on. So there's Horlicks, there's P40F20, and there's mine. So yeah, P40 made me fish my shirt out of the laundry bin. No, he didn't.
Out of something, anyways.
No, he didn't really. So we have got Roger Kendall, Chris Campling, Adrian Langley, Mark Knight, Caldicott Bus Spotters. Big hello to Caldicott's Bus Spotters. He did say, I think it was last week or the week before, he'd been making comments and I didn't respond to them. Again, sometimes I apologize. Sometimes I miss the comments. If I ever miss you out, I don't do it on purpose. Please accept my apologies. More from Mark Knight. We've got James Tubriddy. I'm sorry. By the time it goes a week, I forget. How's he say his name, Horlicks?
I think it's James Tubriddy.
Tubriddy. Okay. Mark Knight, Adrian. Love Minis 31 with an age change. How are you? Verwayne popped in. Mark Knight, Love Minis. Steve Graham. Hello, Steve Graham. I need to contact you about the springs I keep getting to. Adrian Lang, Steve Graham. Hello, Verwayne. We've got Ian Bedson. Hello, how are you? Steve Graham. So yeah, I had a little bit of a joke. Mark was saying, will Horlicks be with us tonight? And I said, Horlicks is scheduled to be with us, but sometimes he has a little nap. He was actually having dinner.
I never had a nap.
You did once, didn't you? Fell asleep.
Oh yeah, but I think I was ill.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Are you
You've
feeling
been ill
better?
quite a bit.
Pardon?
Sorry, Mark.
I said Horlicks has been ill quite a bit in the last few months.
Yeah. He can't handle the hot weather.
No, I don't know what it was. I just came back with some sort of flu. It was horrible.
Yeah.
Well, you just gotten over something.
Yeah.
You came back with Spanish cow bird flu.
Yeah. No, I feel all right now. I've been outside painting.
Oh, excellent.
Oh,
So, Chris Camping. Hello to Dave Say. Roger Kendall, good evening. It's mostly just good evenings and that, which is really nice because all the friends share. Gambling. Oh, but Penny's a bus driver. They're never on time. Yeah, we had a few issues starting. Levi Otter. Hello, Levi Otter. Andy M. I've been waiting 5 minutes. Oh, yeah. Hello, Andy M. Hopefully you're still with us. Fleetwood J. Hello. Steve Hysom. Camera's very fuzzy. Sometimes it takes a minute to sort of settle. I don't know why it does that. And then basically, Dan Simpson. Dan Simpson, have we missed you a few times? I don't remember seeing you recently. I might just be my memory. Got to remember I'm quite old. And Trevor Rodway. Right. So, are you ready then, Horlicks?
Pardon?
Are you all sorted and ready to go with the PDFs?
Yeah. I'm just in my new shelving unit. Yes, I got it from work, and I wanted something for my tools and stuff. So on there, it's got all my tools and my parts tray. I actually 3D printed a little. It was a 12-hour print, and it's like a little organizer from a glue.
I like that. I might have to get the file off you for that one.
Yeah, it's really good, really heavy as well.
Yeah,
You've
really been printing some really good things, haven't you?
Yeah.
Let me get you carry on talking for a sec. I'll get you what's something that I printed.
And then down here, I've got like my soldering iron, IPA. My 3D pen I got, just like electrical bits, and then on the bottom shelf I've now got a space to put all my the filament, but I've only got like 2 colours. I've got 3 now. I had white and yellow, and I've now got blue, and I've got red gold. So that's where that lives. And then up the top I've got I've got 3D print, sneak peek. It's actually
neat.
There's actually a project I'm doing on my YouTube channel. So I've actually filmed it and completed it. So yeah, that's about it really. And that's good. Well, that is my painting shelf, but it's very bare at the minute. I've got brushes and some paint. I need to empty out all my other paints and things.
Horlicks, have you seen that video on YouTube or no, Facebook of a parrot spinning a mouse around and around in a wheel. It's hysterical.
Oh no, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, the poor mouse, because the parrot really whips the thing around.
Well, I've been printing fairly frantically with the new printer, which I set up on Saturday. I've made a little fan duct just to protect the fan from anything from falling in. I've done all sorts, but I can't show you because the printer's actually outside of the room at the moment. So I've been doing like I've got a little set of drawers, and then I've got one that goes on the side, and I've got a little cover for the circuit boards, and I've got some little filament. I've even got a little holder to hold my little clippers. It's pretty good. I'll take some pictures and I'll show you next week. But I've now finally done my first proper print, which is something that came on the SD card, which is a test print. And this is it. And it's actually pretty good.
Looks good.
It
Nice
prints
and
on a
smooth.
point. It is. It prints on a 0.15 layer height. And that's all right. And I absolutely, do you know, I think I love this Ender 3 more than I've ever loved the CR10. And I think it's probably because of the build plate and the smaller print bed. It's so much easier to level. What I found is that you either level it perfectly and your prints come out perfectly, or the bed is slightly off and the whole print just buggers up on layer one. There just seems to be no middle ground. It's either going to completely bugger up or it's perfect.
Yeah, that's exactly the same as what mine does. So I know the first layer whether it's going to work, and then if it works, then I'm happy to leave it.
Yeah. This is meant to be a dog, apparently. So
yeah,
but
this
is actually the third. This is the third one I printed off now.
The quality is much better than you've had apart from the shiny bits you had at one point.
Yeah, well, this is a 0.15 layer height, but it's so difficult to get it off the bed. If you have it level but a little slightly bit too low, it's almost impossible to get off the bed. So that's the only thing. You've got to have it slightly too high rather than too low. So if it's too high, it won't stick, and you can just bring it down slightly. But obviously, I still live level, so as it prints, I'm just rubbing the line. If the line comes off, it's too high. But I'm really, really happy with it. Really happy. It has got a smaller print bed. There are one or two prints that won't fit on the print bed. But on the whole, I really love it.
Will you be able to do any of the R2D2 parts on that?
I can do every single part on the R2D2. It's just that I won't be able to do as many together. But I've had it confirmed. The guy who made the R2D2 parts, he's got a version 1 and he's got a version 2. I'm printing the version 2 off, which he's actually made for a smaller print bed. And then he's now making the version 3, which is for the large print bed. So, but yeah, he's confirmed that all the parts will fit. There's some that are a little bit of a struggle. Instead of printing them like across the print bed, sometimes you have to move them at a 45-degree angle to get that long bit. But yeah, it won't hinder it at all. Right. So we are.
Do you think that because obviously you like that, if you were to get another Ender 3, do you think you would get the one with the slightly bigger bed?
No. Well, the Ender 3 is that size. Isn't
there an Ender 3 Pro or Plus that's got a slightly bigger bed?
What apparently, I've been watching a lot of YouTube. I'm going to move to me. I've been watching a lot of videos on the subject, and my understanding of the Ender 3 is that it's about £100 more than, sorry, the Pro is about £100 more than the Ender 3. But between printing bits off and buying bits, you can actually upgrade it to better than the Pro for less than that £100.
Right.
So it's not worth doing. It's got a slightly upgraded power pack, and it's got some bits of plastic on it, which you can 3D print anyway. So, yeah, I don't think it's worth having. So once I get used to this new printer, which is I'm practically used to it anyway, I'm then going to go and print a couple of the R2D2 bits off. Then I'm going to start swapping some of the bits over onto the CR10. Like I say, if I can get the CR10 working by swapping bits over, then I know what's wrong with the CR10. And I've got a horrible feeling I've discovered what's wrong with it. One of the design faults for the Ender 3 is the little bits that hold the Bowden tube in. You know how you have to push the bit down to get the tube out?
Yeah.
Apparently what happens is that they naturally fall downwards. And then obviously that Bowden tube, it goes under quite a lot of pressure where it's pushing the filament in and out. It's a lot of pressure. So what they've come up with is these little tiny clips which you push. You got a little gap like that. You push the clip in, and it stops that top bit from falling in, and it holds the Bowden tube in tighter. And if it's that, I'm going to go absolutely nuts, because I have spent so much time and money on parts for that CR10, and I could actually have printed off the fix on the CR10. Because it is printing.
They sell them as well. They sell the little connectors. If you want to, say, for instance, you wanted to replace the whole bit that screws in, a couple of quid on eBay, you get a bag of them with the clips. Yeah.
But the clips I've already got, because when I bought remember when I first got the CR10 and I bought that new hot end, it came with some clips. And I looked at them and I went, I've got no idea what these are for. And I chucked them in a drawer, and I thought I'll keep them just in case.
Yeah. Okay, brilliant. Yeah. Well, let us know when you try that out.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be so annoying for it to be something so simple. But on the other hand, if it fixes it, then that's great, because then you know you haven't got to spend any more money on it, and you've got a load of spares.
But I'll be honest with you, if I can't fix the CR10, I won't buy another one. I'll buy another Ender. Yeah. I can buy 2 Ender 3s for less money than the CR10.
I know, I'm saving up for one now. I'd like an Ender 3 just to have, as I said to you the other day, like, I've got the Ultimaker, but I don't want to use it all the time because it is a good printer.
No.
It's still like £2. So I want something.
There's a chap called Maker's Muse, and he was going through his printers, and there's like one printer he uses for reliability, and then there's another printer he uses for quality, and it really depends what you want to get out of the print. Anyway, look, we've been chatting for 25 minutes and we've not even started this build yet. So
right on track then.
Well, you know, like on this show, we just start. It's just like a social, isn't it?
Yeah.
With the build included as a bonus.
Yeah. So I've had a quick flick, and it looks like we're not actually attaching anything to the bus today. So it looks like a simple build. Do you want to go through the parts?
Yeah. Okay. So let me sort my screen out. Now I've got the files. Yeah, my computer had a meltdown. The files weren't where they should have been, and then they suddenly all just came through. So we are fitting the rear seats to the upper deck. In this issue, we supply the rear section of the upper deck seats, assembled in previous issues, are fitted to the deck. So we've got part A, which is the upper deck, the rear of it, and 14 JP screws.
Right, so this is the upper deck. Usual procedure, painted plastic. You can see it's been treated on that side. That side's untreated. Looks nice. Its quality very the same as the bottom deck. And there we've got, do you say 14 JP
Yeah,
screws?
14.
I think I might just have to turn the light out. And there's the JP screws. So what I'll do is I'll pop the JP screws straight in with all the others, and then they won't roll about the table then. Always keep your screws safe. So as we were discussing earlier on in the chat, today we're going to be doing more screwing on the top deck. So, right, do you want to go through the instructions and I'll get my seats out?
Yeah, gotta have your seats.
Gotta get your seats ready.
So,
just blowing 2 weeks of dust off them.
We want to take the rear seat assembly from the previous issue, and the rear section of the upper deck supplied with this issue. Check the orientation of the floor, get the rear seat base D 70D to the upper deck 71A, fixed in place with 2 JP screws. So it looks like the furthermost point at the back.
Yeah. Right. So what we've got is this is a bit confusing for me because it's backwards. Right. So you can kind of visualize that this is where the stairs are going to be. You're going to come up there and they're going to go round, and this is where you're going to step onto the rear platform. Therefore, the rearmost seat is there. There's 2 pegs there, and you can see on the seats that we did last week, there's 2 pegs there, and it actually goes in onto there, and you can see that the seat actually drops below the level of the floor. So if you look at the floor from the lower level, there is going to be a bit of an overhang, and that fits in there really nicely. So we just do our usual when we're putting plastic screws in. We'll get the 2 screws ready. Check we're happy with the screwdriver bit. I thought that'd be the right bit because I still had it out ready from last week. So this is the J1 end, and all I'm going to do is just hold the seat down, and we'll pop 1 screw in there. There we go. That didn't go in straight away, so you may have to just wiggle it around a little bit. We still have a heavy breather, apparently. Would that be you, P40?
I'll move the mic a little further away.
Are you getting a bit excited about this?
Yes.
Right. So they're in just enough to bite. There's a little bit of wiggle. Obviously, they're not in tight. And I'm just going to screw until... what? Now, this might be unique to me, but there feels like there's a little bit of cracking. Maybe it's pulling things into place. And I think it was pulling... there we go. It's pulling this back into place for some reason.
Looks like you got a little interference there.
Okay. So just be careful. It's kind of pushing on this back, and there's a little bit of cracking. So, but that's the rear seat on, and once it's on tight, you don't need to go any tighter. But you can see that's a nice flush fit. Slight bit of gap there.
Now you got a gap. I think you may need to do a little sanding at the bottom of the seat.
The actual seat goes in fine. Oh, I know what you mean. Just take a little bit off the rear so it sits forwards.
Yeah.
Having said that, there's no gap there. I don't think this bit is going to be seen. And also,
just running up that side.
Yeah, but also we've got screw holes in the back of the seat. So I'm assuming we're going to screw something to the back of it. So that might actually push it forward. I mean, you see, when I push it forward, it gets rid of that gap.
Oh, I see.
So I would be inclined to leave it. If once we do the back, the gap still appears, then maybe I can think about doing something. But
Oh, when the bus is all done, you won't see the gap whether it's there or not.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so that's that one. Right. So are we all happy with that? There we go. Mark Knight says if it isn't broken, don't fix it. We just don't know that it's broken yet. Once I confirm it's not fitting properly, then I'll change it.
Well, you did hear those cracking noises. That doesn't sound good.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's just where this back is. But like I say, because we had that problem last week, but from obviously once the sides are on, you can't really notice anything wrong. There's obviously going to be something going in there. So it's going to look something like that when it's finished. And I can't see anything wrong with that.
Then proceed as...
if you want to be a rivet counter and get your set square out and measure the exact angle, that's fine. But that's not going to be
just
me.
so nothing gets broken.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Right. So the next bit, it looks to me like, because we've got 4 different seats, remember, it looks like we're going to just have to spend a little bit of time and just make sure we've got the correct seat.
Yeah. So we need to take the rear left seat assembled in the previous issue and the assembled left seat frame 68A. Identify the fixing points on the upper deck 71A. Fix each seat support in place with 2 JP screws. So it doesn't look like there's any knobbly bits on those.
No knobbly bits. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just have a little look forward of the magazine and we'll have a look at the finished view. So there we can see no knobbly bits. This is the 2 seats we're talking about. And this one in front and to the side definitely has knobbly bits. In fact, they put a blue ring around it. And I know this is technically an article, but they've given us a little article on the seating and they've given us a little seat plan. So if we look at the seat, that might help us. Use everything you can, no matter how vague it might be. So obviously you've got the red bit goes down the middle of the bus. So therefore we're looking for 2 seats with no knobbly bits, with the red bit will go in the middle. So there's one. There's another. So it's not that one because that's got a knobbly bit on it. It's not this one because the red bit is on the wrong side. And it's not this one because the red bit's on the wrong side and it's got a knobbly bit on it. Okay, we clear on that?
Knobbly bits.
Well,
very technical term.
Yeah, we do like to get really technical here.
Yeah.
So now when we did the lower seats, I suggested not putting these on the floor and we'll attach them to the side wall when it comes in. And then when we put the side wall on, we then pop the seats in. I don't know when the side wall is coming in. So I think I'm going to fix these to the floor. Yeah.
Yeah. And then if there is a problem later on, you could always possibly use my method of extending your extension. Because haven't you got 2 screwdriver sets?
Yes. Yeah, I think I can use this one. No, I've only got the 1 screwdriver set, but I think I can get in with this one. It's not going to be as easy. But we'll find a way because we always do. So two screws ready, and I'm going to load my screwdriver up, and I'm being very careful because this is only resting on the 2 supports. So I'm just going to pop one in just enough to bite, which it is, as you can see. And this is becoming a bit of a cliche now, isn't it? Just enough to bite. But we just want to make sure we've got it lined up. And I did notice that these holes I don't remember it before, but there's a little locating peg. For every 2 holes, one's got a locating peg. And this, I can't remember if I noticed it on the bottom deck.
No, I haven't noticed that either.
Yeah, they were on the bottom deck just like that. They're identical seats.
Yeah, it may just be that it was so long ago I can't remember it. So I'm going to gently turn these because I'm only holding them by these pegs. So there's not a lot of support, and I feel I could snap these seats off quite easily.
That's another reason why I don't put the seats on ahead of time.
Yeah, right. So I've got that
I did
on tight. I can tighten those screws up more, but I don't feel I need to. They're on enough. Once they're secured on the side as well, they're not going to move. There is a bit of movement, as you can see. It's quite a lot of movement, but that might work to our advantage. I don't think the seat has come out straight, but we know that once we get the side in, that we can kind of, you see there, that I can move it a little bit, which is probably due to the fact I've not tightened it up fully. It's kind of almost tight. I could probably get another half a turn on those.
It would still move a lot because the legs aren't very thick.
Yeah.
And I suppose, but I think if I tighten that up, I think
I wouldn't tighten it anymore.
No, I was going to say, because if you did do them super tight, they'd be more rigid. So if there was an accidental bump, there wouldn't be any movement there.
Exactly. A bit more flexibility.
As you say, I mean, once I've built my issues, they go on the shelf behind me, and I don't touch them. So for me, it's not too much of a.
See, the thing is, I don't know what we're getting in the next few issues. If my subscription copies were here, obviously we know what we're getting next week because we'll be looking at coming next week. But if the side walls were coming in the next 2 or 3 issues, then I'd be inclined to say, don't put the seats on yet. Wait until you get to that issue. Because a lot of subscribers, they do 4 issues all at once, don't they?
Mm.
I always do whatever I can unless I kind of look ahead and see there may be a problem.
Yeah. Right. So when you check the seats, don't check the seat, check the legs. Right, you see that this seat there's a lot of movement on that, but the legs are in solid. So I would say that's absolutely fine. Again, it's off center. You can clearly see it's parallel with the seat, and that seat is clearly not level with the seat behind. But once the wall comes in, you can see, I'm trying to get a good camera angle. You can see that those seats are definitely skew width. That's a technical term where I come from. But once we get the wall in, they will just go round a little bit. So I'm really not going to worry. And we had this with the lower deck as well, didn't we? The seats were a bit skew width. But once the wall came in, because you've got this 2 little tabs there, which are going to lock it in place. And then we've got the screws there. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yep.
Happy?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see the way the rest of this magazine's going to go, but let's have a look.
Right. Next, you want to take the next assemble to the left seat frame, 68B, position it at the front of the upper deck, section 71A, identify the fixing points and fix in place with 2 JP screws. And it says, note that the seat frame 68B has a bracket for the upright pole, aka the knobbly bit.
The knobbly bit. Right, so theoretically it's getting easier now. Now we've got one seat in, we know how to line them up. So this is the seat that we want because you can see the red part is the same. Obviously, if I went for this seat, well, apart from the fact it won't even go in, it looks odd, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the one. It's got a little peg on it. and that's going to go in there. So same as those two seats. So 2 screws. And I'm finding with these screws, it's the first one that's hardest to get in, because you want to try and keep this seat lined up and it wants to move around. Once you've got one screw in just enough to grab, if the seat of course it helps if you can get the screwdriver. See, that's another thing about this screwdriver. If you're struggling with the screw, it's got a wide enough base that you can stand it up and you can put the screw on one-handed. So I love singing the praises of this Oria. Right.
Yeah, it's a great set.
So even though the seat will swivel, it's only swiveling on one point, so we can now hold that. Do you know what? I'm going to test this screwdriver to the max. Screwdriver. Level surface helps. Screw. On the end. Look at that.
Of course, because you bought one, didn't you? P4, you ended up getting an Oria, did you?
Oh yeah, I got one shortly after Penny did.
Yeah,
I could see it was a great set, and it was, I was building R2D2 at the time. I didn't even have the bus, and the R2D2 screwdriver I think sucks for the most part, but the Oria screwdriver's been great for the rest of the build.
Yeah. As I say, that's why I bought another set, because I just in case.
Yeah, I've lost one of my Allen key bits. It
I've
doesn't
used mine
matter.
so much the black oxide is wearing off the end.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine, tell you what, mine's done really well. I mean, it was a tenner. I really can't moan at that for a tenner. So, right. So that one's on exactly the same as before. The pegs are in solid, but there's a bit of movement on the top. But that one seems to have gone in straight.
Yeah, I think I had that on my video, and I can't remember how I did it, but there is a knack to the screws to make them sit straight. And I think it's a case of tightening them and then loosen one and then tighten the other, and then it sort of brings it round. But without me rewatching my video, I can't remember.
Yeah, I might have to rewatch mine and rewatch yours. Right, so that is now, we've got left-sided passengers now. Should we just test out Smoking Man?
Yeah, I'm nervous about my figurines because I really don't know how I'm going to sit them on the bus.
Yeah, there's not a lot of room, but there is enough room. Actually, he's quite a good fit. Oh no, he's not.
Maybe the back seat?
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm going to have to turn that light on. His bum don't want to sit on the seat.
Well, the seat's skewed anyways, remember?
Yeah. Yeah, he's a little bit off. I mean, he can kind of hang his legs off. Like, you can see how far out he is. But unless we have him...
Is that how you would sit on the bus, Penny?
No, yeah, it's no. Anyway. Right, he's going back in the package. Right, so shall we have a? Yes, I did 3D print some figures. I don't know if he still exists. Oh, he does still exist. Oh yes,
Mr. Concept.
Mr. Concept. Do you know what he looks? Oh, look at that. He's perfect. He's not suitable for that seat because he's taking up all the room, which is quite selfish, isn't it?
Looks more like he belongs on the right side.
Yeah. But he fits, actually. Fits really well. Look at that. See, mine are better than Hachette's. His foot's not quite on the ground, though. So... But, you know, that's what happens when you're short. You know, no, I like him. He's the annoying guy that takes up all the room. But yeah, this is the thing. Buses never had much leg room. it is awkward if you're sitting on that seat and you've only just got enough space, and then some lady wants to sit next to you, and you've either got to sit on the outside there and be pushed off the end, or you've got to be squished in against the window. So, but yeah, no, it looks like the figures are going to fit reasonably well, so I'm happy enough with that. So what comes next?
Okay, the chicken or the egg?
I'll take the chicken.
No, right. So, take the rear right-hand seat frame 65B. Identify the fixing points on the rear section of the upper deck 71A. Fix in place with 2 JP screws. It says note that the seat frame 65B has a bracket for an upright pole, aka the knobbly bit.
AKA the knobbly bit. Right. So what I've done while you're describing that, I've got the next 2 seats ready. So this is the seat, the pole, aka knobbly bit. So that's going to go in there. I won't talk about that one yet because we haven't got to that. So this is going to be slightly more difficult for me because I'm right-handed. Because what I would like to do is hold it like that and then come in like that. It's doable, but it's, I mean, the back seat, I can hold it from behind, possibly. Yeah, possibly.
You could do the other seat first.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Okay, let's skip a stage then and do the front and then work back. Obviously, if you were left-handed, you would find that easy, and you might want to work from this front one back.
I'm lucky. I'm ambidextrous.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
my left hand's useless. I can't do anything with it.
Yeah, I just wonder if you're left-handed and you work from the front to the back, would that give you a problem with the back seat? I don't know. I'll tell you what. Let's muddle along for your benefit. We'll muddle along. It might actually not be so difficult as I thought, or we could do it the way we did it on the lower deck and kind of balance it with the seats. Actually, that's not awful. Just make sure you get this orientated correctly, because you don't want your seats pointing backwards. I don't think they'll go backwards actually because of that little little thing. Actually, that's not so bad. You see, I got my seat in on one screw. Obviously, don't let it drop like I just did. And then once we've got it in the hole, we screw. And that was a deliberate innuendo. Right. My only worry with these is you've got the little seat legs, and they feel quite fragile, and I don't want to hold anything too tight. I'm just really worried they're going to snap.
I think they mold those out of a little softer plastic.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they want us to break them so that we have to buy replacement parts. Oh, Trevor, very, very good. Don't you hate it when someone answers the wrong questions? I do. Right. So do you want to show us what I think is going to be the last stage?
Yeah. Take the next right-hand seat frame 65A. Check the position where it fits in the front of the rear upper deck section. Fix in place with 2 JP screws.
Lovely. You know, my boyfriend said to me, "What do you want to do for dinner?" I said, "I want you to take me to one of those restaurants where they cook the food in front of you." He took me to Subway.
Well, he did what you asked.
Yeah. I tried a new joke out today, but hardly anyone got it. I thought it was hilarious. So I was eating my tea last night, and it suddenly dawned on me, my milk has gone off. Yeah, most of my customers didn't get it either. Because when your milk goes off, it goes solid, doesn't it?
Right, like jelly, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what? This hole's too small. No, it's not. No, it's not. Right. So that hole was slightly smaller than the others. So it took a little bit of work to get the screw in there, but it went. But obviously, if you find you're struggling too much, just get your little needle file out and just give it a little gentle, get the little round one, just pop it into the hole and just keep turning, because these needle files, they get larger as you go in. So you push it in and just keep gently turning it until the screw goes in as easily as you want. I was kind of able to just ever so slightly force that screw in, and that was enough. So a little slip of the hand there. Right, okay. So check the peg. Yeah, that's fine. And that one looks, no, that is a little bit off. You can see it, so if you compare it to the front, but that's not going to be a problem. So out of the 5 main seats, not counting, because this one's always going to go in fairly right, I've got 3 seats that are a little bit off. But that's not going to be a problem, because they will straighten. We know they'll straighten up once the sides come in. So is that the end of the magazine?
Yeah, that is it.
Brilliant. Should we have a look at the finished view?
Yeah, absolutely. There you go.
Okay. And yeah, so there's my knobbly bits there and there, as per the magazine. Yeah, mine looks something like that.
Yeah.
And turning it round, there's my knobbly bits there and there. So yeah, I'm happy with that. It looks nice. I can see where it's going to go, which I like when I can see where I can go. I like it when I can see where it's going to go. You know, I'll end up doing test fitting and stuff. So, and I've just had a thought. Right, there's some little locating pegs there, but there's some screw holes there. So we're obviously going to screw this to the bit underneath, aren't we?
Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah, that must all attach to the roof of the lower cabin.
But I want to know how they're going to get the screws.
That's why we haven't put the roof on yet.
Yeah. Have you got the roof to hand?
Funnily enough, I do.
Bit of speculations.
You know what? We're a funny bunch, aren't we? No matter how much they give us, we always want more.
Too much is never enough.
Never enough. I worry because of this trailing wire.
I keep snagging that all the time.
Yeah, I keep looking at it and going, oh no, my LEDs are falling off. Right, so
Probably should.
So this is the roof of the lower deck.
Tape them to the top of the roof.
Yeah. Right, so I don't. No, that's not going to go on there. That's not stable enough.
Theory.
So there's. I'm guessing then that it's going to be something between this and the floor, because if you look at where the low, yeah, look, there's a peg there that will line up with this one, but then there's nothing to line up with this one.
Right.
So I still can't see how they're going to attach this so that I can see us screwing something onto this, but then how do we?
It's got the same shape, isn't it, at the back?
Yeah, ish. Because it's yeah. No, these aren't even. Then that's not even going to line up with that, and these aren't going anywhere.
Possibly then some support rods between the roof and the upper floor.
Possibly. I think there's going to be something going over that because none of these pegs and holes are lining up with anything.
And I suppose that's a good idea. Good idea, people. About supporting rods, but I suppose if there are no holes there to screw them into, it's going to be interesting, isn't it? Because how are you going to even secure that together? Because there's no screw holes coming from the top of the platform down, and there's no screw holes from the inside of the roof up. So
I think these are going to be secured by the sidewalls.
Yeah, something
because
with the sidewalls.
if you, right. Let me just pop this away, and I'll explain my theory. In fact, I might even be able to explain my theory with, perfect. Right. So this is going to be a really bad explanation, but it'll work. I need two things the same. Right. So really bad examples to use these, but here we have two objects which we've placed on top of each other. They fit on top of each other, but they're not secure. Yeah. Now, this one, as you can see, has got the sidewalls. Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously, anything happens, they're going to fall. If we then put the sidewalls and the roof on, this is what's going to happen effectively. Yeah. So there's your sidewall, there's your roof, there's your other sidewall. And then there's, obviously we're not going to use masking tape on the bus, but there's your sidewall, there's your roof, there's your other sidewall. So you can see that they've not been attached together, but we've attached each of them to the side and the roof, and now they're together. I think it's going to be that kind of a theory. It's probably a really bad explanation, and there's a really good reason why I'm not an engineer by trade.
Well, we don't know what the sidewalls look like for the upper deck yet. They may extend down to somehow attach with the sidewalls of the lower cabin.
Yeah. So, and how many times have we said, oh, I can't see how that's going to happen. And then when it's happened, we've actually gone, wow, that's really good.
Yeah.
Probably nearly every week, I think, isn't it? So are you guys happy with that? It's quite weighty, actually. It's surprisingly weighty. So it's obviously going to add weight to the bus. So it's going to hurt me, I think, when I do eventually pick it up. I like it. Obviously we're doing, well, it depends what parts of the bus you like. I think the seats are quite boring, so we're doing a less interesting bit. I'm guessing Dave Say would be going, come on, I can't wait to do the body work, and then it'll be really interesting. But I like the little technical, the engine and the driver's cab and stuff. And obviously, I'm looking at the driver's cab and I'm going, would I like to get in that cab and drive it? And the answer is yes. And we haven't finished it yet, so I can't wait for the rest of it. So, P40F20, your thoughts?
My thoughts is, yeah, I'm kind of bored with seats. When all of my seats came, I just threw them all together and they're sitting in a sealed box right now. In the last couple of weeks, I finally got the cabin down on my frame, which I liked, and after watching your struggles with the putting the hood on, I didn't find that to be quite as bad because I could see where the things were. I did end up snapping a hood hinge though, so I got to get a replacement. And when it came, and I know I could see how frustrated you were when you were putting your cabin down onto your frame. So I went and took the easy route. I took the back wall off, and that did make it a bit easier that way.
Yes, yeah. I'm almost well, I think the people who have the advantage here are the ones who are a few issues behind, so they can see people. I didn't want to take that back wall off because I didn't want to undo the self-tap and screws. But if I'd have seen
you for that.
Pardon?
I said I don't blame you for that, because, like you say, once you've tapped the holes, you start to weaken the threads.
Yeah. If I'd have seen someone a few weeks ahead and they've gone, oh yeah, I'll take the back wall off, then I would have gone, right, I'm not even going to put the back wall on until I've put it on, and then I'd put the back wall on. I think that would have been easier.
Right.
So everyone is a few weeks behind. Look at, I won't use the word mistakes, because I don't think it's a mistake to not take it off, but also things like the LED light mod. I had to undo those two front bits to get that LED in. If we'd have figured out how to do that LED mod before we built that wall, we could have actually done the mod. It's like you did, didn't you, Horlicks? You did the mod before you did the wall.
Yeah.
Oh, talking of which, do you want to have a little look at next week?
Yeah.
So,
more seats.
now that one I find quite interesting, because you can see we've added an extra panel just in front of the panel we've been working on. And let me just grab the seats.
I see. I think I know what you're going to say.
Yeah. So we've got these little pegs there, which will help us, just like we had on the roof, which will help us connect the next panel on.
Yeah.
If you look at next week, they've got some more on that one.
Yeah.
So there's obviously going to be a third at least 3 panels for the upper deck. So if we count the seats on the right hand side, there's 5 seats, and we've done 2. So 1, 2. So we're going to be putting in 6 seats next week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2. That leaves us with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Brilliant. So I think next week and the week after are going to be exactly the same.
I think you're right.
Yeah. But then at least that's all the seats then done.
But also, I mean, obviously you can see the size of it. Well, you can and you can't see the size of it. Let me get my Dizzy Cam out. I'll tell you what I mean. Right. So I'm doing this from far away. So obviously at the moment, the main guts of our bus in terms of passenger is from there to there. Yeah?
Yeah.
But what is easy to forget is on the top deck, the seats actually run from there.
Yeah.
To there.
Yep.
So we've got about 3 inches there and about 3 inches there. So the top floor is, well, the top deck is definitely going to be longer than the bottom deck roof. But it's gonna I think it's gonna make that bus feel even longer, because although obviously we've got the bus full length because of the platform in the front, it kind of goes up like that at the moment. Once we get the top deck on, it's going to go up like that, which will make it feel longer. And I think once we get that top deck on, even if we just get the 3 bits of platform on, because I reckon it's going to be what this. Yeah, we're going to be adding on. Be about this long next week, so it'll be about that long the week after. You place that on top of the bus, and then suddenly I think we are genuinely going to go, wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, I said the next 2 issues are going to be the same, which can be taken as a negative statement, but I think that's actually positive. Hello, Ian Martin. How are you? So, but yeah, I think doing the next 2 issues of sound is a good thing because it's going to add so much, and then we'll start to put the sidewalls on, which will raise the height a little bit. Then we'll put the roof on, which will kind of solidify it, if that was the right expression.
Yeah, I think we're all looking forward to, after going through the trials of getting the cabin finally on the frame, we want to get that top deck done and on.
Yeah, I think I'm just looking forward to getting the actual the thing down on the chassis, because obviously,
Yeah, I originally thought it was going to be roughly thirds. You'll have like the engine and the chassis will be 1/3, the bottom deck will be 1/3, and the top deck will be 1/3. I think it's going to be more like quarters now, where you've got the chassis, the bottom deck, the top deck, and then you'll probably have the sides and the roof. I'm guessing the roof, I don't know, when would the roof go on, do you think? I think the roof will go on last, won't it?
That would make sense.
Yeah. So, yeah. Right. I need to bring up a couple of things while I remember. You weren't here last week, but we've already planned what you're going to be doing. I talked about a rotor application last week. It is still technically in the application stage, but we are looking like I'm not going to be able to present the show 1 week in 4. But we've thrown a couple of ideas. Horlicks, I know you won't be totally happy with this, but I do trust you. And what we talked about was that if you continue if I give you my password to get onto YouTube, you can then do the show, and Adrian might be able to do the build.
Right.
Or we can just have it as a chat show hosted by you, and then we'll try and do catch up on the 3 weeks following until the next show we can't do. Bearing in mind that 1 issue in 7 is a figure, so that'll be really, really easy to catch up.
Wouldn't it be better to sort of spread them about? So, like, say if you couldn't do, like, say the Wednesday, just delay the show a week, or not a week, a day or two, or use a subscription issue if you've got it to do it a day or 2 before.
I could do that, but looking at the schedule, if I can't do the Wednesday, I can't do an evening show until the following Tuesday. I can pre-record it, but I think part of the joy of this show is the interaction with guests and the chat. And I think a lot of people enjoy that, and that's what I'd like to keep up. We've built that up over time, and if you don't want to do a show, I'm not going to force you to.
No, I don't mind. Well, I suppose we could, if you get a. Well, actually, yeah, because you'll be driving a bus, wouldn't you? So we could.
Well, I might be driving a bus. I might be sitting in the canteen watching my own show on my mobile phone.
So I could start the show off and then invite you, and then you can have a little holder in the cab, and then we can see you while you're driving along.
Trouble is, if I did that,
that'd be too dangerous.
Yeah, I thought about it. I thought about if I got like a camera mount, but the main issue you've got, I could have it running, not touching it, but stuck to the windscreen. But obviously I might be chatting, pull up to a bus stop, and then a customer gets on, and suddenly that customer is on the show, and they might not want to be on the show.
There you go.
So-
Matthew's spoken. He doesn't want me. He says he enjoys your company, Penny.
Oh,
I've got the
Right.
solution.
It's either
Let
you or
one
not.
of the passengers drive the bus for you.
yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah, I like that one.
Just take
I
the
keep
wheel.
trying to get them to drive the bus. I've got the pensioners to get themselves on the bus and do the cards and everything automatically. I've even got a customer to issue their own ticket before. And I've said that all I need to do now is get the bus driven by a customer, and I don't actually need to be here. But no, I have actually got a customer. Oh yeah, just press that button, no problems, and yeah, on you go. And I'm standing outside having a cigarette, loading the passengers up.
Yeah. Well,
Obviously, in my
you or
current
no
job,
one.
of course.
Huh?
I said, obviously not in my current job, of course, because that would be really naughty, wouldn't it?
Or I'll have to come up on the Wednesday and just distract you at the cab while I'm filming the live show.
Yeah. That I tell you what, yeah, but you can't, because you can't stream from a mobile phone unless you got 500 subscribers. Or is it
Which I
1,000?
have. Oh yeah,
Which you
1,000.
have. Yeah. So
I think mine's on
It's-
500 and something.
it's a real bugger, because I'm doing this rota because on the whole it's a better rota. It's going to help me out, and it's but obviously means that one Wednesday in 4 I can't stream. I can't do the show.
No.
I'd like to see a show. I think that'd be great. But obviously, if you can't or you won't, I'll say I'm not going to force you to. But what do you guys in the chat think? Would you be happy just with a general chat show with Horlicks and a guest, and people can fire questions or whatever?
I mean, the only other thing I can do is my chat's not going to work, so I'm behind. I could maybe live stream one of my own issues on the Wednesday.
Yeah.
But I am behind, so everyone's just been watching the same thing that you did a few weeks ago.
Horlicks, you are normal ciggies. You've been caught. See, you got posh duty frees.
Benson Hedge Red. Yeah, they're cheap Spanish one.
Do they taste like Spanish cigarettes?
No, they're lovely. It tastes like B&H.
Well, they don't rip your lungs out then.
They are quite strong, but I'm happy. I'm alright with these. They're the red. They're really nice. If you ever go to Spain or anywhere like that, I always get them. They're nice. They're cheap and they're really nice.
Fair enough.
They're American red.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know the perfect solution then to for the show.
We'll have to have a discussion about it. We'll sort something out.
Well, it's not. Obviously, I can't say anything, but I can confirm that it won't be until right. It'll be the 31st of July, and then it'll be every 4 weeks from there.
Right.
So we've got 4 weeks. So, guys, homework for everyone. Get your thinking caps on and think of a good idea for the show. I'd like to try and keep it bus related or Routemaster related if we can. But obviously, if you sidetracked, then that's how it'll go.
What time would your latest shift be? Did you say you get home about midnight?
Right. Basically, there's 3 shifts. If right, I'm having to say if I get the job. Right, there's 5 a.m. spare, which the way spare works is that you come into the depot at whatever time you start and you sit there, and if a route is dropped or a driver doesn't come into work, you'll be working. And what is not impossible is for me to sit there for 6 hours doing nothing and then go out and do 10 hours driving, because I can work 16 hours so long as I don't drive for more than 10. So theoretically, I could come in 5 a.m. spare and still not be able to make the show. But no, Steve Hyson, I haven't technically got the rotor. I haven't got the rotor. Look, this is the only thing I've got that says I've got it. So there's four shifts. I'm going to say 4 shifts. There's rest day, which is guaranteed not to be unavailable. There's 2 p.m. spare, which is obviously means I've got to miss that. There's 5 a.m. spare and there's 6:30 spare. Slightly different shifts on a Saturday and Sunday, but they don't matter. So when I'm doing day off, obviously I'll make the show. 5 a.m. and 6:30, I don't have to work more than 12 hours. But what I'll do is, it's a case of being flexible. The guys at work, or the managers at work, have known since the start of Routemaster I won't do overtime on a Wednesday. And they even asked me this morning, and he says, "Oh, can you work in your split break?" And I said, "No, it's Routemaster day." And he's going, "Oh, bloody Routemaster day." But then I'll go in tomorrow and he'll say, "Oh, can you work in your split break?" And I'll probably go, "Yeah, no problems," because I'm not preparing for show or anything. So the tactic that I'm going to play is that any day of the week apart from Wednesday, if they want me to stay late or whatever, it's not a problem. I'll stay late. But Wednesday, one day out of 7, I'll be still be flexible, but slightly less flexible. I mean, right. 5 a.m. spare to ask, "Oh, do you mind if I don't work more than 13 hours, 14 hours? So long as I finish by 7, I can make the show by 8. And so I think 14 hours is not unreasonable. So yeah, I can pretty much just guarantee I'll be doing the show 3 weeks out of 4. But there's that 1 week where I won't be able to do anything at all, because 2 o'clock spare, guarantee you I'm not coming home before midnight.
Right.
So what's happened to the train? Right, the train is still going ahead. But obviously I'm stopped YouTubing for the month of June, and I'll be starting to bring it all back on July. There is a new build confirmed. The Ecto 1 has been confirmed for the end of the year. I've discovered a new YouTube channel, Hero Collector. It's Eagle Moss's site. They seem to be, is it Eagle Moss? They're basically the same people who are doing the Land Rover and the whatever it is. But I found this video, and it was about the Ecto 1. It's a video. I'll see if I can. No, I won't. I'll have a sneaky look for it. But yeah, it's basically it's Hero Collector's site. So let me get the.
Yeah, Mark's just put, "Hey, you look like you're deciding on those shelves. What's happening?" Yeah, I was just looking because my mind's wandering. I need to find a good 3D printed tool holder or rack system or something, and I've been looking and I can't actually find anything, which is ridiculous because you can print anything, but I can't design files.
Right, I think so. I'm just looking for this video. Right, I found it. Right, so the YouTube channel name is Hero Collector, and I found the video. It's called Hero Collector Debut Build Your Own Ecto 1 at Ghostbusters Fan Fest. And basically what it is, it's Dan Aykroyd having a look at the model. And it looks really good, actually. But I still haven't confirmed the siren. So I'll post that link in. But it is... I think it's quite interesting because that video has got 1,772 views. But Hero Collector has only got 25 subscribers. So, so yeah, guys, me and Horlicks, our channels are now more popular than Eagle Moss's site. How good is that? So, but it says at the end of the video, there we are. Oh, there we go. So,
oh wow, the window works.
there we go. Coming late 2019. So that's good news for me, because that means I can I can go for that. I'm just waiting for that to pop up on. There we go. Oh, I've got you, Horlicks. Sorry, I meant to have me. So there we go. Right. So yeah. So that's definitely coming at the end of the year, and I think I'm going to do that.
I'd like to do that one as well, but I already started the Aston Martin DB5.
Martin Knight says it's amazing that both of you are looking so intrigued by what's on the screen.
Yeah,
I think the Willys Jeep is going to come out, but I noticed actually it's been out for ages in France, but my mind is already committed to the Land Rover because it's a D'Agostini build. I can let that one sit, and I'll probably do that after I finish the Land Rover. But I think I'll be doing. I lost my screen now. Where's the chat gone? There we go. Yeah, I'll probably do that Ecto one, and I'll do the Land Rover and yeah.
Oh, Ian's asked how many issues are to the build. Are you talking about the Ecto one or the Routemaster? If it's the Routemaster, it's 130, isn't it?
30, yeah, yeah.
And if it's for the Ecto, I'm not sure.
I can't remember who does the X-Wing now. That's not officially out yet, is it?
D'Agostini, because we started here in the States last August.
That's right, yeah. Yeah. So again, that is another model space one. So I can always do that at any time. And I'm not keen on doing an X-Wing and the Millennium Falcon. So I might do the X-Wing after I do the Millennium Falcon.
I'm kind of disappointed in it because there's so many highly detailed parts that get covered up by other highly detailed parts. Unless you want to leave the thing half unassembled, you're putting parts in that you're never going to see again.
Yeah, yeah. Chris, the 3D printed R2D2 is happening. That was what kind of stopped the channel.
It's because you had a problem with the printer, haven't you?
Yeah, I had problems with the printer. I was using it, so I've tried to keep myself sort of 5 to 10 weeks ahead of myself, so that I can. Sometimes the R2 might take 5 minutes to make. Another time it might make a number of days. When I did the leg, that took about 4 days to make. So I really want to try and keep myself ahead. And if I run into problems, love the way you sound so interested. Okay. Right. Sorry. Yeah. So if I run into problems, I can use the videos that I've already made, and sometimes I might make 2 or 3 videos in a week, and other times, let's say I can't. So Dan Simpson saying by the end of the year he'll have 5 builds on the go, as well as dinky toys and supercars. Yeah, that's I've got a whole feeling I will end up having too many builds again. So, but that's me. Also an update for you, P40. The Hachette site has come back up today. I got home from work and I had an email. If you went on the Hachette website, it said that it was down, but you could put your email in and submit. Yeah. So I got the email today. So I checked my account. No, I wasn't taking it as a dig, Mark. I just didn't understand the context. That was all. So yeah, I checked my account and my subscription hasn't been updated since the 17th of May. It doesn't mean they're not on the way. But I was most worried this morning because it said on the website up until last night that shop and subscription copies are delayed. And obviously, if the shop copy was delayed last week, it wouldn't have mattered because I had the subscription copy. And once I've got my subscriptions, I've always got those to back up on if the shop doesn't come in on time. But this week being the first week of the subscriptions, if the shop didn't have it in, I wouldn't have had a magazine for tonight's show. But as it happens, it was in. We still have our little code at W.H. Smith. So I walk in, I look at the cashier. If she smiles at me, it means my magazine is in. If she doesn't smile, it means it hasn't come in. And she smiled as I walked in.
I think this is the second time that you got the issue just in the nick of time.
Yeah. We've what's been quite funny is there's one woman that I see. I actually popped in yesterday to see if it was in early. Every now and again, I pop in on a Tuesday, and if I see this particular woman who works in the afternoons, she almost shouts at me saying, "No, it's not in. It doesn't come in till Wednesday." And I tried to explain to her, sometimes it does come in on a Tuesday. No, it always comes in on a Wednesday. And it has actually come in on a Tuesday 4 times in total now. It always seems to come in on a Tuesday if it's a bank holiday Monday. But there was one issue that came in on a Tuesday. And there it was. And I went, see, it does come in on a Tuesday sometimes. So, yeah, Mark, yeah. Mark went to a fitness instructor, asked, could you teach me how to do the splits? He says, how flexible are you? I said, well, I can't do Tuesdays. Yeah, the old ones are the best. So, yeah, I really do want to do the Land Rover, but it's going to be difficult for about 2 or 3 months. Because obviously I've got the Millennium and the Harley Davidson on the go. But, you know, I think if I was to get the spare rover, I think I'd be able to do it. So, and who knows, I might actually be selling 3D prints by then, and I can use that to fund the partworks. And we've all gone quiet. Oh, yeah. So I've just spotted Trevor's comment. Have you and Horlicks got over the 4-hour orrery build? Yeah, I enjoyed the print. Yeah, we did go on a bit on Saturday, didn't we?
Yeah, but the build itself wasn't that long, was it? It was because we were doing the printer. So
yeah,
it was sort of 2 in 1, really.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I did enjoy building it. I've assembled and disassembled that printer so many times now because some of the upgrades you've got to undo screws to get things in. But they're brilliant. I'll show you the upgrades for next week because they're so simple, but they're brilliant. And I've got a little
printer.
Pardon?
Where is the printer?
It's actually out in my little kitchenette area. Well, I call it a kitchen area.
What? Oh, so everyone can have a play on it?
No, it's just I got no space in the bedroom until I make that. Where am I going to put it? So it's been sat out there. So yeah, Chris Campling's condescending joke. That's awful. Yeah, Fleetwood saying that he wants the Land Rover, but he likes the Ecto 1. So does he do the Ecto 1 or wait for the Land Rover? Yeah, it's
maybe wait until the Ecto actually, just before that actually comes out, and see if there's any news on the Land Rover. Make a decision nearer the time.
Yeah, it's just that I mean I'm in a position to pick both because in April my money will go up. I'm doing, if I get this spare roster, my money will go up because I'll be doing more hours over 5 days. I'm fed up with doing 6 days just to make ends meet. It's just burning me out. But if I'm earning more than my normal budget over 5 days, it won't kill me to do a 6-day once a month. And you know, if I do the Saturday, it'll be a higher rate of pay. I'll earn enough for 2 or 3 monthly part works in one day. So I don't want to work, but if I have to, I can. Yeah, and the firehouse, I won't forget that. But now I know when it's coming out, so that's my deadline. And also because I've got the Ender 3, I'll split that firehouse down so that it fits the Ender 3. Because my mission is to get everyone with a 3D printer. I'm gonna do it. So, and I think we might be giving up on the 3D printer project that we talked about because I think it's gonna be too expensive. You know, I said about if we can make you can print a 3D printer, you print all the parts off.
Yeah.
And then you get all of the electronics and everything, and it's about 200 quid. Now, my basic theory was, if I printed off enough plastic parts to make 2 3D printers, and then sent those to 2 people, who in turn will then construct their own 3D printer, and then they will print off the parts for 2 printers and send those off to 2 people, but with an Ender 3 costing about 150 quid, you might as well just go out and buy that.
Yeah.
And so yeah. Yeah, see, the thing is, do you know what? Right, I'll show you something I found the other day. I don't know if I'm going to put this to the test. Right.
Mark, you say that, but the filament isn't actually that dear. Like, it depends where you shop. Like, you can get budget ones. You can get like kilo rolls for sort of 12 quid, but that will last you a long time, depending on what you print. So
yeah, or me a week.
Yeah, I mean, only because Penny does a lot of projects, and the R2D2 is, you know, a lot. But if you're just doing like things like I do, just the odd thing here and there, you'll have that for a long time.
Right, guys, my computer's decided to crash again. So I've got problems. Oh, can you hear me all right, guys?
Yeah,
Can hear you, yeah.
Right, and you can see me as well. I can see.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I had this problem before. I think it was on. Was it last week on this show where I tried to show my screen, but it was it's just frozen while it's trying to flip the screens over. So I've got no control or anything. Listen, guys, I'm going to take a risk and I'm going to shut it down, which means I'm going to leave the thing, but I think I can come in again.
Yeah.
So do you want to talk between yourselves?
Yeah.
So I might just go abruptly.
So yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so yeah, but that I was Penny saying that Ender 3 does look amazing, and for the price it is, as I say, I'm going to get another one just for, well, because I've obviously got the Ultimaker, but because it's an expensive printer, I don't like burning it out just for silly prints and things. So if I had like an Ender 3, I can use that as sort of my cheap printer to knock up a bit, and then to keep the Ultimaker, you know, ultimately for really good prints. I think that would be the best way forward, and it'd be nice to build one as well. I do like building electronic stuff. I was looking at the one from D'Agostini, but it's not great. I think for the money, it's a bit like the Vector 3 I did. It was a Terminator Night. Is anyone here building the VWT1 camper? I'm not myself. I'd love to do that, but it's, again, funds.
Right, am I back? Hello.
I see you.
I think you're back.
Right, then there's no 4 of us in the chat.
Yeah, you're back twice.
Yeah, you're there twice.
Yeah, right. Okay, sorry. Yeah, my computer's just gone funny. I'm going to take a really big risk now, and I'm going to see if I can. I think if I do a screenshot while I'm trying to load up a web page. Right, I'm going to try this again. So, yeah, I found something that surprised me. Go on.
Still got the Vector 3. Is that what, Steve? You've got one,
right?
Is it still working all right for you? I mean, mine was okay, but I had to do a lot of heavy modification. I ended up taking the print head off completely because the print head was too heavy for the bearings at the top, and so I ended up using like a rep wrap or whatever it's called head on it, and I took it all apart. I remounted the circuit boards at the back. There was a tutorial on the Vector 3 forum. And then I installed Marlin firmware on the boards, and then I added like a screen on it as well, and that made the printer a lot better. But from stock, I had so many problems with the bed leveling and bearings rattling around, and the bed was wobbly and all sorts. And then, you know, you tighten them up, and then it would work for a few prints, and then you'd be back to square one again. So, I can see me.
Yeah, I moved it back to you because you were chatting away. Right, this what I'm about to show you. This is where I get my filament from at the moment. Now,
yeah, I was really happy with that gold I got.
I can't remember. Oh, this is so. You know, I used to do this like second nature, right? So, right, this is the filament. I know this is one of them, but £20.95. And it's their own brand. It's good enough quality. But I come across this. I wonder if I can still find it. There we are. It's very limited in the color, but this is actually color changing. I don't know if this, there we go. Right. So you've got solid red. There we go. Let's go with that one. So £12 a roll. Now, according to that, they do different colors, but that's still 1 kilogram. So that's nearly half the price of my normal filament.
Oh, yeah.
So that's really cheap, but that's too cheap, isn't it?
I don't know. You can spend that sort of money on eBay and Amazon for a roll. It just maybe not as good quality, but to be fair, I mean, I've not really had any problems with when I had the Vector 3, I used cheaper filament.
Yeah.
and it was
I
fine.
mean, I use this 2095 one almost exclusively.
Yeah.
I've got another roll that I've just been given. It was a mailing list I signed up for, and I was one of the first 100. So they gave me a free roll, and that seems slightly better, but I wouldn't buy it. But Amazon, I know in America they do the Amazon Basics. I don't know if it's Amazon Basics PLA. Don't know if they do it yet in the UK. There we go. 14, 15 quid. And it's of 18 quid. There you go, look. If you're not fussy about the colour, 15 quid a roll. And you can get that the next day. Oh, you go, got millions of colours, look. 1.5. Oh, that's 1.2. Oh, 1 kilogram. So you've got not quite the range of the colours that you get from 3D filler print, but you get the main colours. That you got a grey there, you got some reds.
So that's 15 quid plus nearly £4 postage. So
well,
is it worth buying?
It's free postage for me because I'm an Amazon Prime member.
Yeah. So maybe then the answer is to try a £12 roll of filament and maybe review it and see how it is.
I think I will because
or